From Kenny Anderson's wife draining his jaw-dropping $63 million fortune to Latrell Sprewell getting sued and betrayed by his own wife for a staggering $200 million, these stories are wild. In this video, we're diving into 10 NBA stars whose money vanished faster than their fame, all thanks to messy relationships and straight-up heartbreak. Let's start with one of the most chaotic legends the league has ever seen, Dennis Rodman. Known for his neon hair, wild outfits, and unpredictable lifestyle, Rodman wasn't just famous for his game. He was infamous for everything off the court, too. From his controversial friendship with Kim Jong-un to his tabloid-worthy romances, Rodman lived life loud. But behind all the chaos was a man whose love life became his financial downfall. Rodman earned around $27 million in his NBA career, winning 5 championships and locking down his spot as one of the best defenders in history. Yet when the lights dimmed and the checks stopped coming, his marriages and divorces started eating away at everything he had. His biggest nightmare, child support and alimony. At one point, Rodman owed nearly $800,000 in unpaid child support and another $50,000 in alimony. And that's just the tip of it. Court battles, lawyer fees, and constant legal drama left him drowning in debt. By 2011, the former NBA icon was forced to file bankruptcy. Imagine that. A man who once made millions couldn't even cover his basic bills. But the money loss wasn't the only tragedy here. The emotional damage ran deep. His daughter, Trinity Rodman, now a soccer star, once opened up about how hard it was growing up with a father constantly struggling with his demons. She said seeing him unexpectedly show up at her game hit her like a shock, proof that fame and fortune can't replace family. Rodman's downfall wasn't just about dollars, it was about trust, love, and vulnerability being used against him. He was flashy, he was fearless, but he was also fragile. And that made him an easy target for people who saw him as a paycheck instead of a person. His story isn't just sad, it's a warning for every athlete chasing fast love and flashy fame. Because when the game ends and the money fades, only real ones stick around. And if you think Dennis Rodman's fall was bad, wait till you hear the next story. Jason Caffey's financial crash takes things to a whole new level. After his NBA career ended, Jason Caffey's life turned into a total nightmare, one packed with lawsuits, arrests, and crushing debt. What started as a promising future turned into one of the wildest examples of how love, trust, and bad choices can completely wipe out a fortune. Caffey made about $34 million in his NBA years, but it all vanished under the weight of child support for 10 kids with 8 different women. That's not a typo. 10 children, 8 mothers. It wasn't just a few bad relationships gone wrong. It was a non-stop cycle that looked more like exploitation than romance. Think about it. That's 8 separate households expecting support at the same time. Each one came with legal filings, lawyers, and mounting bills. Every missed payment turned into another penalty or warrant, and every court date meant more money bleeding out of his pockets. It was financial chaos that no amount of NBA money could fix. And here's the harsh truth. The whole situation exposed a pattern that raised serious questions. Having that many kids in such a short time made people wonder if these relationships were more about opportunity than love. It started to look like Caffey's fame and bank account made him an easy target for people who saw dollar signs instead of a man. The math alone is crazy. With child support often taking 15 to 25% of income per child, even a millionaire would struggle. 10 kids could mean paying out way more than you earn. Sometimes 150 to 250% of your total income. Add on top the lawyer fees, fines, and lifestyle expenses, and there's no way to survive that. Eventually, the strain broke him. Caffey was arrested multiple times over missed payments and ended up filing bankruptcy just to stay afloat. His downfall showed how fast wealth can disappear when your personal life turns into a legal war zone. What should have been a comfortable retirement turned into a cautionary tale for every athlete chasing fame and romance without protection. It's a brutal reminder. One bad pattern can drain decades of hard work in no time. And if Caffey's situation sounds bad, wait till you hear about Antoine Walker. His crash and burn story is one of the most famous financial wipeouts in NBA history. And the craziest part, he admits exactly how it happened. A 3-time All-Star who earned over $108 million, Walker had it all. The talent, the lifestyle, the dream. But that feeling of invincibility turned into his biggest downfall. In interviews, Walker has been shockingly honest about how his love for helping friends, family, and women in his circle became a non-stop drain on his wealth. He gave freely, spent recklessly, and thought the money would never end. But as he later admitted, that same generosity, mixed with some very expensive relationships, became his undoing. Walker's own words sum it up perfectly. His mindset made him believe the checks would never stop coming. By the time Antoine Walker filed for bankruptcy in 2010, his situation was beyond repair. He owed over $13 million. While the housing crash and his failed real estate ventures played a big part, his child support obligations only added more fuel to the chaos. At one point, he hadn't paid his $4,195 monthly child support for more than 2 years, and even racked up $27,817 in unpaid tuition. Those personal responsibilities pushed him from financially stressed to completely overwhelmed. Walker's collapse showed just how fast multiple money drains, gambling, bad business deals, and family expenses can combine into one unstoppable storm. It was the kind of downfall that proves even an 8-figure NBA salary can vanish if your lifestyle and personal choices don't match your bank balance. But Walker wasn't the only one who fell hard. Next up is Allen Iverson, and his story might be the most shocking of them all. Known as The Answer, Iverson was a cultural icon, a rebel, a trendsetter, and one of the most electrifying players to ever touch a basketball. He earned around $200 million through contracts and endorsements, but somehow ended up broke. The reason? A mix of reckless spending and relationship drama that drained his money faster than he could make it. Iverson lived big, too big. We're talking $40,000 shopping sprees, massive jewelry bills, and endless entourages tagging along. He spent money like it was unlimited, and when reality hit, it hit hard. His ex-wife, Tawana, not Tijuana, filed for $1.2 million in advanced child support, claiming she needed to secure the future for their children since Iverson kept missing payments. Things got so bad he faced threats of jail time for unpaid support, adding more court costs and legal fees on top of everything else. It was a vicious cycle. Every missed payment brought another lawsuit, another lawyer, another pile of bills. What's wild is that Iverson technically had money. Reebok had set up a $32 million trust fund for him to access when he turns 55, but that money was locked away, untouchable during his 40s when he needed it most. So despite making hundreds of millions, Iverson was living check to check, showing that no amount of cash can save someone from bad financial habits and messy relationships. And then there's Shawn Kemp, another NBA legend whose money didn't last long once family drama came into play. Known for his thunderous dunks and highlight reel plays with the Seattle Supersonics, Kemp earned around $92 million in his career. But by the end, most of it was gone. Kemp reportedly fathered 7 kids with 6 women, creating a tangled web of financial obligations that even his massive earnings couldn't cover. Each household meant separate payments, separate lawyers, and separate problems. The court fees, support disputes, and legal drama all piled up. And unlike a bad business deal that eventually ends, child support doesn't stop for decades. Even though Kemp didn't officially go bankrupt, the strain from managing multiple families drained a huge chunk of his fortune. His story proves that some of the biggest financial hits in sports don't come from gambling or bad investments, they come from the personal choices made off the court. At the end of the day, these players didn't just lose money, they lost peace of mind, stability, and the legacy their millions should have secured. Shawn Kemp's downfall didn't stop at child support drama. Things got way darker. Beyond financial stress, he ran into serious legal trouble, including drug possession arrests in 2005 and 2006, and a 2023 drive-by shooting case that ended with him pleading guilty to assault in 2025. Those legal nightmares piled on thousands in attorney fees, court costs, and potential settlements, draining whatever he had left. What started as child support issues turned into a full-blown collapse of both his money and reputation. Next up, Latrell Sprewell, one of the NBA's most controversial figures ever. Most people remember him for the shocking 1997 incident where he choked his coach, P.J. Carlesimo, during practice, a moment that forever tainted his career. But while that scandal defined his image, it was his financial chaos and reckless choices that destroyed his life after basketball. Sprewell made around $100 million during his time in the league, yet by the late 2000s, he was broke. In 2018, fans were stunned to see him reportedly start a GoFundMe page asking for just $35,000 to help his granddaughter's leukemia treatment. That moment hit hard. How could a man who once signed 8-figure contracts now need donations to save his family? The truth? Spruell's downfall was a brutal mix of bad decisions, child support, and flashy spending. He owned multiple homes, yachts, and luxury cars, but when he rejected a $21 million contract extension believing he deserved more, that one move changed everything. The deal disappeared, his NBA run fizzled out, and his massive expenses kept coming. He was left juggling child support, property taxes, and the cost of maintaining a lifestyle built for a millionaire long after the money stopped flowing. Analysts called it the perfect storm. Arrogance, poor money management, and relationship drama all clashing at once. Spruell went from superstardom to public sympathy, a living warning about what happens when pride and pressure collide. Then there's Delonte West, a story that still breaks people's hearts. Unlike the others, his downfall wasn't just about cash. It was about mental health, addiction, and survival. West earned around $16 million in his NBA career, but after his playing days ended, his world fell apart. He battled mental health issues, substance abuse, and became homeless, seen wandering the streets in heartbreaking viral videos. While child support wasn't the main reason for his financial collapse, his 2 divorces, legal troubles, and treatment costs kept draining whatever money he had left. Between drug charges, trespassing incidents, and police chases, every mistake meant another mountain of court fees and rehab expenses. But the saddest part of Delonte's story isn't the lost millions. It's how his personal struggles left him open to manipulation and exploitation. With no support system and no stability, his finances crumbled right alongside his mental health. Delonte West's fall reminds everyone that behind the highlight reels and contracts, some athletes are silently fighting battles money can't fix. And in his case, every broken relationship and relapse pulled him deeper into the spiral that stole both his fortune and his peace. Delonte West's story keeps proving that not every downfall comes from greed or reckless spending. Sometimes it's deeper than that. His collapse wasn't just about bad money moves. It was about mental health struggles that made him vulnerable to manipulation, exploitation, and total loss of control. Former teammates and even NBA legends tried stepping in to help. Mark Cuban, for example, personally reached out to get Delonte off the streets and into rehab, an act that showed just how much people still cared about him. But despite those efforts, West's journey from millionaire athlete to homeless man battling addiction remains one of the saddest declines in sports history. It's a chilling reminder that not every financial crash is about greed. Sometimes it's about pain that money can't heal. Next up, let's talk about Trevor Ariza, a more recent case that shows how fast life can flip once those NBA checks stop rolling in. Ariza earned around $116 million over his career, solid money by any standard. Yet in 2023, court documents revealed that he was broke and begging for lower child support payments. He said he couldn't keep up with the luxury lifestyle that came easy when he was still signing contracts. That fall hit fast. Retirement brought financial reality crashing down. The child support numbers were still based on his active player salary, not his post-retirement income. Ariza reportedly told the court he was now living off rental income and a lump sum settlement instead of NBA money. And things only got messier. His divorce from ex-wife Bree Anderson exploded into a legal storm filled with abuse allegations, financial manipulation claims, and heavy legal bills. Between court costs, lawyer fees, and possible settlements, Ariza's savings got shredded in record time. What makes Ariza's story different from older players is how quickly it all happened. He didn't have years of bad habits piling up. It was almost instant. One year he was cashing NBA paychecks, the next he was struggling to keep up with payments. It proves that even players who earned over $100 million can end up in serious trouble once the money stops flowing, but the bills keep coming. Ariza's downfall highlights a harsh truth. Retirement can be just as dangerous as a bad contract if you're not ready for the sudden shift. Those court fees, child support modifications, and lifestyle cuts can wreck even the best prepared players if they don't adjust fast enough. And then comes Derek Coleman, the #1 overall pick in the 1990 NBA draft, once seen as the next big thing. Coleman made about $45 million during his 15-year career and had the talent, brains, and business sense to secure his future. But even that wasn't enough to save him from financial disaster. Unlike some of the other players, Coleman's downfall wasn't driven by relationships or child support. It was fueled by bad investments, partying, and the 2008 economic crash. He filed for bankruptcy in 2010, admitting that his lifestyle had spiraled out of control right as his business ventures collapsed. In interviews, Coleman opened up about his struggles with addiction and recovery, offering insight into how easily athletes can lose it all once the fame fades. His story showed that even players who kept their personal lives drama-free weren't safe from financial ruin, because the money can disappear just as fast through risky business moves and market crashes. The 2008 recession wiped out millions from athletes' real estate portfolios overnight, and Coleman was no exception. His fall proved that financial destruction doesn't always come from gold diggers or toxic relationships. Sometimes it's just the cold reality of bad timing and unchecked spending. Coleman's story stands as a powerful reminder. Whether it's love, lifestyle, or luck, no fortune is untouchable once discipline disappears. Derek Coleman's story, unlike so many others, actually found a silver lining. After losing his fortune, he turned his pain into purpose, working in substance abuse counseling and helping others facing the same demons that once consumed him. His path to recovery and mentorship shows that sometimes redemption is worth more than money. Coleman transformed his setbacks into a second chance to make an impact, proving that even from financial rock bottom, growth is possible. And that brings us to Kenny Anderson, a story that ties together everything we've seen throughout these NBA money tragedies. Anderson was once a superstar point guard earning around $63 million, but by 2005, he was bankrupt and broke. His downfall was the result of multiple marriages, child support payments, and a lifestyle that couldn't keep up once the NBA paychecks stopped rolling in. He reportedly had 7 kids with 4 women, each situation adding new layers of responsibility and emotional strain. With so many financial obligations stacking up, Anderson eventually found himself drowning in debt. But instead of hiding from it, he faced it, choosing humility over ego. After bankruptcy, he started working as a school teacher, earning a modest salary compared to his NBA days. That shift from millionaire athlete to educator shocked fans everywhere. But it also showed a different kind of strength, one rooted in resilience and reality. Anderson has since spoken openly about his trauma and mental health, revealing that he was sexually abused as a child, a haunting truth that shaped much of his adult life. He explained how trust issues and emotional pain made him vulnerable to financial manipulation and poor decisions in relationships. His honesty gave people a deeper understanding of how personal wounds can lead to destructive financial habits. Like many athletes, Anderson fell into the same cycle, trying to help everyone, trying to live large, and trying to share his success with people who didn't always have his best interests at heart. That generosity, though admirable, left him wide open for exploitation by those who saw him as a walking paycheck instead of a person. His journey captures the real message behind all these stories. Fame fades, money runs out, and without guidance or real loyalty, even legends can fall. But the ones who rise again do so by learning, growing, and finding purpose beyond the spotlight. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.